Hello everybody, today is July 15th, 2024. I'm gonna go over 12 names. Some of them were mentioned either Saturday or Sunday. Actually, all of them were mentioned Saturday or Sunday. Anyway, some of the setups actually worked out. Some of them failed. I don't know exactly which ones that I'm gonna mention here worked out or not. And this is a part where I guess I have to let you know that trading is not exact science, and please make sure to do your own research before entering a position or before you're investing. So do your own due diligence and use this content as some sort of maybe guidance or something on educational purpose. And then, based upon that, you can actually get a focus list and pick a few names. And if you like the setups, maybe you can do something with them. But anyways, not financial advice. Let's start with this. AFRM. I mentioned AFRM, I believe, on Saturday, if my notes are correct. Yes. And what I was mentioning or saying was two things. You're rebounding on the 27.24 level, let's say 27.20 level, and then you were working your way up to the 200 EMA. Now you're on the 35 SMA. You have to keep moving towards this resistance level at 33. I think based upon what we see on the MACD and the TSI, there is definitely opportunity for a continuation here. I really like what I'm seeing on AFRM. However, this tends to be a little bit of a volatile stock. So sometimes you can feel pretty comfortable, like what you're seeing on this area, for example, that this is going to have a nice run, and then a few days later, it totally collapse, and collapse is really bad. So be very careful with this. You're seeing the same thing here, right here. You have a possible good entry in one of these candles right here. It runs for a couple of days, and then if you're not really paying attention, it can turn on you pretty rapidly. Anyways, you have this resistance level right here. I think the 35 SMA is your current resistance, and you have to mount these two levels right here, the 200 EMA, 35 SMA, and then continue going towards 33, and then you have a little bit of a breather on this area right here towards 35. We'll see how this moves. The MACD and the TSI are looking pretty decent, and the RSI is pretty much, well, obviously a little bit over 50. I think it's neutral in this case. Keep an eye on AFRM. I think that there might be a play coming up here. What do I have next? Sorry, gotta take, as per usual, some notes. I have AI. So what I have on AI right now is, I was talking about this, was it yesterday? No, it was on Saturday as well. So I had AFRM and AI on Saturday. And what I was saying was, I personally don't have a lot of patience for these kind of candles, because they tell you one thing and then something else happens, and then you're in this kind of like indecisive move of the stock itself. However, I think we are starting to see a little bit more of a trend right here. MACD and TSI are looking good. I like when stocks come out of these neutral levels and then they start moving. It is not that far away from the zero line, which is another good thing. We're not overbought or anything like that. I think crossing this resistance level at 31 is going to determine the next move. Keep an eye on this. I kind of like it. I like the fact that we're green today, in a sense of what we see on the chart. It was up by 3% today. So I was looking at this during the day. I actually got a day trade on Broadcom, on Avgo, and it went pretty well. I'm actually, it wasn't a day trade, a swing trade. I'm gonna sell it tomorrow, but it did work out pretty nicely, unless tomorrow morning tanks and on pre-market. But anyways, I just like this, that the fact that it's forming this right here. The MACD and the TSI are looking good, but just have to keep an eye on this resistance level at 31. It seems to be a little bit stubborn. It had it was support at one point, and then it tried to break here, didn't mount it, collapsed again, and now we're here again. So that's what I'm seeing on AI. I kind of like it, but just be cautious on what you're doing here. So now I have Amazon. Let's see where Amazon is. 14. So one of the things that I was, and let me check this out so we can see this better. I use OBR sometimes as an indicator. Anyways, what I was saying yesterday, I did mention Amazon yesterday, was a couple of things. I bought calls last week at some point and I got wrecked. Anyways, I do think now, and what I was saying yesterday was that you have to keep an eye on this level right here, which if you actually put a box on this, it would make a little bit more sense. I don't normally use these boxes for levels, but let's go to a lower time frame, and this makes a little bit more sense if you see it on this time frame. Are we rebounding on the 35 SMA? Maybe. We are definitely on this level, and you have a little bit of a tendency to go up. What I see on the daily chart, however, is that there might be a continuation, at least towards 190. This is what I was saying yesterday, to expect a move, a continuation towards 90. Now, I think Prime Day is tomorrow. That might actually help to have a rebound here and a continuation. But I would just pay attention to the price action on this area right here. Seems to be, if you go to lower time frames, that this area is also a little bit crucial for the stock. And you see it right here. So you have this whole level right here, and we're sitting right on it. And it kind of bounced back. Let's go to the 1 minute. Yeah, it didn't look pretty. So you had a good start of the day and then a total collapse. Look, I wasn't even looking at Amazon up here. But this looks beautiful. Look at this. So you got a double top and then you just collapse. And look at this double top and look at the behavior of the MACD and the TSI. They are working at the same time. And then you have this complete disaster, I guess. I did have a day trade, and it was a quick one. And I bought a couple of options. It wasn't a big trade. I was just, I guess, bored or something. I don't know. But I just got a couple of options, and I sold somewhere on this area. I thought this was pretty obvious. So I actually got it on this candle right here, and I got out somewhere on this area right here. So it was a pretty quick move. I knew I had to get out because the entire trend was going down. I didn't know that it was going to come down to a double bottom, or maybe you can argue you have more than one. And then it actually went up. Seems like the VP announcement for Trump was around this time of the day, and a lot of stocks went down and then they came back a little bit. So I don't know, Amazon might actually bounce on this level at 190 and come back a little bit. I'm not too enthusiastic to say that we're going to go to 200 and then break. I think these indicators are a little bit extended. So if tomorrow we have a neutral day or kind of like a slow day as far as the stock, the volume goes and the stock goes, we might see a little bit of a catch up on this area, and then you might see a little bit pump towards 200. We'll see. Again, what I was saying yesterday is to expect to go to 190, and then you can make decisions. We were not technically there, but I would expect something going on between tomorrow and Wednesday. So next I have, let's go to BABA. Okay, so I think I mentioned BABA on Saturday. I did. We went going up, and one of the things that I was saying was, well, keep an eye on the on this area right here. It was already, I did have some calls on somewhere around here, and then I sold, but then it continued going up. Now you're coming down, and just keep an eye on the 200 EMA. Now you're about to retest support at 77. We'll see how that goes. I think this still has more room to keep going up. So we might actually see a little bit of a retest to the upside. There is not a lot of liquidity on this area, so it would be logical to think that it's going to continue going up. But another thing that I mentioned yesterday or Saturday, was it? Yeah, Saturday, was that Baba has this very peculiar way of trading, and there's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of things going on like this. It's kind of like a weird stock. Intraday, I mean, during the day, you have enough volume, and it's not a volume thing. It's just very jumpy, for lack of a better term. And it does these crazy things. Like you can see all these little gaps all over the place. This is a pretty unusual behavior for a stock, but you see them all over the place. And that's what I was saying on Saturday. Just be careful with that kind of erratic behavior that you have. I think it would be great if you actually get a retest on this area and then go back, or if we go a little bit under the 77 level of support, and then you bounce on the 35 SMA. So that's what I think on Baba. There is opportunity definitely here, but I will wait. Just wait a couple of days and see what happens here. What else do I have? Celsius. So on Celsius, you have, there were bad news, I guess, or some kind of news from the Wall Street Journal this morning. I just read a little bit about it, and I don't know. I just don't get that involved in that sort of stuff. But what I was saying here was keep an eye on this support level. I did mention this on Saturday as well, this name, Celsius. Keep an eye on this support level. If you break, it's just going to continue going down. I think that at this point, Celsius is very susceptible to news, especially bad news. You have a lot of volume here compared to the past week or so. And I think there could be a continuation to the downside. There's not a lot of volume under this level, but there is also very little liquidity up here. So I think I would be cautious on this. I wouldn't jump into puts just yet, even though today it was down 11%. That's pretty interesting. Here was 12%. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. But I'll just wait. You're right on support. And I think I wouldn't do, and this is what I said on Saturday, don't do anything if you don't see this breaking 61. Well, now we're back at 52. It's going to be a long way. It's going to be a few weeks even if you want to go this way. And earnings are coming. So I don't see much of hope for any, I guess, reversal on this bear trend. I really don't. So it's going to take quite a few days for this to come back up if it doesn't continue going down. Let's go to the weekly and see how this looks. It actually has room to go down to 48, and then you're down to 40. That area, give or take. Oh shit, this doesn't look good. And on the weekly, this definitely has more room to continue going down. Look at this, the MACD and the TSI. The divergence of the MACD and the signal line looks like it's trying to get wider. This doesn't look good, to be honest. So I'm not gonna touch it. I'm probably gonna take a couple of days or maybe a week or so before I mention Celsius again. But for now, it's a name that I don't like. You had this double bottom right here. I thought if you can continue going this way and mount this level, there might be something going on there. But after today's price action, I suggest to look for something else to trade, unless you are crazy enough to short this at this point. I just wouldn't touch it. It's not for me. If it's for you, well, that's your choice. Then let's go to CLSK. So Bitcoin had a pretty interesting day. So 14, sorry. Okay, so we are at 1830 right now. That's a current price. which is right at resistance. I think I mentioned this on X on one of my posts over the weekend. I did talk about this name on, I didn't talk, oh yeah, on Saturday as well. A lot of them were talked about on Saturday. This, I think this can continue. Bitcoin keeps going up. It's gonna go on a rally. I think, don't take my word on that. But you have the next support, the next resistance level at 67.3. And then if we go to this, you definitely have more room. The MACD and the TSI are looking pretty good. The RSI is not bad at all. It's at what, 60? Yeah. So you have very low liquidity here. So you definitely have room for some nice to go long on this area right here. I really like SLK. Right now, the way Bitcoin is going, I like any crypto related stocks. So Mara, which I'm going to talk about, I think, yes, I will. I like Coin. I like CONL, which is a 2x coin ETF. Then I also like Riot, and on any of these names are looking good just because how sensitive to Bitcoin they are. So that's what I have for CLSK. I think there is, or Clean Spark, there's more room for this guy to continue going up. Now I want to talk about HIMS. Give me 1 second. I just want to make a little note. HIMS is moving very nicely, and I actually mentioned HIMS yesterday, and what I was saying was, and you had this flag right here, and then you were breaking this flag, and then on top of that you are right at resistance over here. Let's go to the 1 minute and see how this opened, because I didn't trade this thing. So it did gap up in the beginning of the day and just kept going up. This is beautiful. You know, and just continue on the move. I wish sometimes, you know, this wasn't on my focus list, but this setup was better than what I thought. Anyways, you had a 5% move today. That was pretty good. MACD and TSI are looking great. RSI is at 60. We're still good on that. There is definitely more room for HIMS to continue going up. I guess your next price target could be 25.7, and I don't see anything that might stop this. You have pretty decent liquidity. There's nothing that is too heavy here, so this is good. I like HIMS. Let me get my notepad, because this actually looks, not my notepad, I put my focus list on post-its and I put it on my notepad, so that way I check them. If I don't have a focus list, then this whole watch list right here is pointless. There's too many names to actually follow anything if you don't have a focus list. Anyways, that's what I have for HIMS. And then this name I think I mentioned this name, JMIA. Let's go to JMIA. So what I was saying yesterday, I did mention JMIA yesterday. I did take some puts right here on somewhere by the end of the day on Friday. So around 12:58 or so, I bought puts. And well, they're obviously not working. I might end up regretting that position. So it actually opened green. It totally collapsed, but then it actually came back very nicely. I think that my thesis on JMIA, which is a risky trade, I normally don't like to trade this way. I like to see these indicators telling me a better story than what you actually had on Friday. But what I think is how extended this is, and if you put any, and I mentioned this yesterday, so I don't want to sound repetitive, but if you do this here, you can see how overbought we are. And if you go on the RSI, if you go to the TSI and everything, it's the same situation. So when I see this kind of behavior, I definitely think, this has to cool down, and I want to catch this move. What is difficult though is to understand when that move comes. And I guess sometimes as traders we take unnecessary risks. That might be the case in these puts that I got on Friday, but we'll see. I still have some time on these puts, and if they don't work out, well, they don't work out, and I sell at a loss. But I think there's gotta be something that is gonna pull JMIA down within the next few days, or it might take a little bit longer. But this move is pretty spectacular. If you were one of the people that got JMIA somewhere on this consolidation right here, man, I'm super happy for you. But again, I have puts here. They might not work. So far, they are not working. But we'll see. We'll see what comes next within the next few days. I was saying earlier that I was gonna mention Mara. So I mentioned Mara at, I think it was Saturday as well. And we were here. I was saying, well, we have to just wait and see what is going to happen. And I think I made a post on X. And one of the things that I liked about Mara was the consolidation over here. And now you're breaking this pattern right here. You're also over 1950 per se, and you're over the 35 SMA. Those are great indications. Now you had Bitcoin moving up to 64, almost 65. I think this is going to continue probably. And what I also mentioned, was it yesterday or on Saturday, I guess? Yeah, on Saturday, is how violent Mara moves. I saw this guy on X that made $25,000 just on Mara today. I'm super happy when I see that kind of stuff, but keep a look at how Mara moves. This might continue going up. I'm not saying that it will, but if Bitcoin is gonna continue on this trend, I think that Mara is gonna give us a couple of more days of very nice, big green, solid candles. So Mara definitely should be calling your attention. And let's go all the way down now to AT&T. And I did buy some puts somewhere around here. I think it was on Tuesday, somewhere around here. So these puts are pretty flat right now, even though they are under my price point. There's decay and whatnot. They are flat. I think that this is going to continue going down towards 18. I don't think that the setup right here, or what the chart is telling me, is going to have a rebound on this area or anything like that. I think there is actually room. Lack of liquidity and the MACD and the TSI are telling me something. We are probably going towards 18. So there's a little bit of momentum. It's not the best amount of volume that you want, but I think there is a good chance that we're going to continue going down. Again, my puts on this name are completely flat. If tomorrow we go green, I can sell and, whatever. But actually, never mind, because my puts are for mid-August or so. So I still have a whole month, but we'll see. I don't like to keep my positions for too long. And but I want to see this continuation down. And it looks like the histogram is also telling you something. It looks like it's gonna continue going down. That is my thesis on AT&T. Now I have Tesla. So Tesla started the day pretty bullish. Actually, we moved very nicely towards the 65 level, which I think is turning into a very, not only psychological level, but it's a very stubborn price point for Tesla, and it has to break this level to continue going up. However, when you see the chart, and I always have a problem with these kind of setups, the chart is not breathing too much. I mean, it did have a nice break on Thursday after news, and the robotaxi event was possibly getting canceled. We still don't know. And then you had this little rebound the next day, up about 3%. At one point, I think it was up 5% and whatnot. And today it went down. We were down. Well, I have two different indications here, but we went down as far as percentage. We're at 1.78, but not the best type of candle you want. Again, this level is a little bit stubborn. Looks like, where are we? Yeah. So you had it quite, we can say for sure we're at this level right here. So keep an eye on Tesla. I would like to see this actually going down to 230 and then rebounding by the time you are on earnings, but that is next week. So I don't know. Keep an eye on Tesla. I would like to see a little bit of either reversal going here towards 230 or a consolidation. So these indicators kind of like cool down a little bit and then a continuation, or try to break the 265 at one level. If you don't break this level within the next couple of weeks, which there's a lot of time for Tesla at this point, then I see a downtrend coming. You also have this trend line right here, which could be another area of to retest for the stock. So we'll see. I like Tesla. Again, I have Tesla stocks. I'm always bullish on Tesla because of my own bias, I guess. But if there is opportunity on the way down, then I'll take it too with options. Anyways, that's what I have for Tesla. And then I mentioned this last name yesterday. It was my last name for yesterday, and it's my last name for today, which is ZIM. My thesis on this is you have a double top. You might actually continue going here. But what happened today? Well, you got a 6% on the way up today. It was a pretty nice day for this name. And yesterday was the first time mentioning this stock. So I still not very familiar with how it moves. There is a couple of things that might be happening here. Let's get rid of this. There could be a continuation to the downside. That is possible. But we can also be looking at the beginning of a different pattern, which could be a triple top. Who knows? We still have to see, right? So, excuse me. So that is what I think. That there's some possibilities here. I would wait. You have to go under the 35 SMA. You have to go under this support level at 17. And then it would be optimal if you also have what I just erased, silly me, kind of like a retest. You're going here, here, and then a retest, just what you have on the other side. So we'll see what happens here. I don't have a position on this. I wasn't planning to get into this at any time soon, at least until you break this, you completely break under the neckline and see some sort of momentum. Now the momentum is changing, at least by what we are seeing today, and it went up. So we'll see what happens there. But I think that is what I'm gonna wait for. I still like the setup. I think this is a good opportunity, but it has to give you more information. We don't have enough to really make a decision. Okay, everybody, that's all I have for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.